No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday. Something like that.
I cracked you up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Nip had no ego. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, like your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
The DOJ finally cracked open them Epstein files. But word is, the real story ain't just who's on the list, but who's connected behind the scenes. Now, Lauren London's name getting dragged into Diddy's circle and whispers that Nipsey saw something coming before it was too late. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you already know how things went down with those Department of Justice Epstein files. For years, it felt like the system was dragging its feet, slow walking everything, protecting the elite while the public kept asking for answers. Then boom, January 2026 hits and the vault cracks open. We're talking millions of pages, emails, flight logs, images, documents, enough material to shake entire empires.
Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. In total, that means that the department produced approximately 3.5 million pages in compliance with the act.
But here's the part that didn't sit right. Even with all that information, names were still blacked out, heavy redactions, missing pieces, and gaps that made people feel like we still weren't getting the full truth. Now pause, because this is where things start shifting again. Word on the street is, those hidden names, they're slowly being exposed. Folks already been whispering about names like Jay-Z, Pusha T, popping up in conversations tied to those circles. But then another name starts floating around, and this one, it shocked the streets. Lauren London. Yeah, Nipsey's Lauren, the woman Nipsey Hussle loved hard, built with, stood beside, and that's where the conversation gets uncomfortable, because yeah, he loved her, but did she love him the same way? That's what the streets been debating heavy, because for a minute now, there have been whispers that Lauren might have known more than she ever said. Some even going as far as saying she lined him up. Now we not confirming that, but when you start connecting the dots, the story starts looking different. Let's break it down. Lauren wasn't just Nipsey's girl. She had industry ties, access, connections, and one of the biggest connections, Sean Diddy Combs. Matter of fact, Nipsey himself said it. Lauren was the one who introduced him to Diddy.
No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday. Something like that.
Something Jaguar Wright been loud about too.
Hook up with the biggest rapper at the time. Everything's great. By the way, isn't she? Lauren is the one that introduced Nip to Diddy. Diddy couldn't even get to Nip, even though he had ties in L.A. It was Lauren that brought Nip to him.
Now stop right there, because that one detail changes everything. Before that introduction, Nipsey was moving independent, focused, building his own lane. But after Diddy came into the picture, things shifted. Suddenly Diddy's around more, involved in his work, even tied into his biggest project, Victory Lap. And yeah, at the time, people thought that was a blessing. But now, folks are looking at it like, was that really help, or was that the setup? Because here's where it gets deeper. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, spoke on it, said Nipsey wanted Victory Lap to carry the same energy as the notorious B.I.G.'s Life After Death.
Now, you taking a spiritual person who's asking for something. He said, I wanted that same feel as life after death. That same feel was that Biggie got married and he went on to sell about 10 million albums. Or 10 million copies. I was saying, you gotta watch what you say to demons, because it just might come true.
And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap. So a lot of people don't know this. We got them to change it in Wikipedia. Somebody over at the label tried to leave my name out, but he came to me and said, I want you to be a part of helping me finish up this album. And so I was a part of not just the records I was on with him on his last album. He was like, yo, I'm a big fan of like Life After Death.
Now think about that. That album dropped after Biggie got taken out. So when Gene Deal said that move was a mistake, people started reading between the lines, because Biggie's passing has long been surrounded by whispers, and Diddy's name has been tied into those conversations for years. So now the question becomes, did Nipsey unknowingly step into something bigger than music? And once Diddy got involved, did he get too close? Because according to what's been said, Nipsey started moving different after that. More time at Diddy's place, less time focused. Now ask yourself, what happens when a man who can't be controlled gets pulled into a system built on control? That's when things usually go left. And this is the part nobody wants to say out loud. If the door was open from the inside, then Nipsey never stood a chance. Y'all remember March 31st, 2019, when Nipsey gets taken out in broad daylight. Now, officially, Eric Holder was sentenced, but the streets, they never believed that was the full story. They've been saying for years that was just the trigger man, not the mastermind. And this is where things circle right back to Lauren. Because if someone needed access to Nipsey, someone close, someone trusted, who better than the person right beside him? Old photos resurfacing, showing Lauren and Diddy looking real close. Moments that didn't mean much before, now looking different. Then there's that interview she did after Nipsey passed. She talked about how Diddy helped her through the grief. But what really caught people's attention? The way he spoke to her, calling her Boog, a nickname Nipsey used. Now ask yourself, why would another man be that comfortable using something that personal? That ain't normal. That's familiarity on a different level. And it didn't stop there. She mentioned attending a grief seminar before Nipsey even passed.
I went to a seminar about death.
Okay, you have to tell. Well, you're
Oh
just
my
telling
God.
me this now.
I know, yeah.
Please share. Please share. Why?
I have a friend.
Why were you there, and what did you learn?
I learned that no one really dies, and that, you know, it's just an experience in the physical form, and we're attached to our personalities, but that we're just souls, and that we continue and continue and continue. And if you have a spiritual relationship with someone on earth, you will have one with them when you leave earth. So I did this like 2-day seminar on death. So
And this was how long ago?
I had to be like 25.
What sent you there? Do you find that weird though?
I'm weird.
No, it's not weird that you would go. It's just, it's almost like you were preparing yourself for what you would have to
Well,
deal
I told
with.
you I didn't have such a connection to earth at a young age.
I know, but you don't find that as like you were preparing yourself for what you were going to have to deal with.
But that we're all gonna have to deal with.
Now that right there, that had people raising eyebrows heavy. Because how do you prepare for something like that before it even happens? Coincidence or something else? Now hold on, because this is where the story takes a darker turn. Because while all this is happening, another voice has been speaking for years. Allie Carter, she's been saying things long before any of these files dropped. And what she's describing, it ain't light. She said her pain started when she was young, not of age, placed into environments where she wasn't protected, but used. Moved from place to place, treated like currency. We can't even go into details here. Y'all can look it up later.
Taking over the border was for who? Child Protective Services is your supplier. Is anybody gonna talk about that? The immigrants that are coming across the border, that all those that they were just scooping up out of boats and out of the water, they're now coming in and they're throwing them right into the system. Aurora, Colorado, Springfield, Ohio. Where do you think all those are going? This ain't about an election anymore. Y'all know that, right?
But here's where it connects. She said some of these situations happened in spaces tied to Diddy.
I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set
I set children
on a table, like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them,
Yep.
and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties, they put on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Take you off the table and have sex with you.
Now, if your ears been down to them street, you've likely heard Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein weren't just operating in the same world, they were neighbors. Same island access, same type of private environments.
But again, see, he's in cahoots with Epstein. And then...
Was he in cahoots with Epstein,
Yeah.
or was it just a similar type of an
No,
operation?
they were friends.
Really?
Yeah, because Epstein had a on Miami as well. That really private, rich estate in Miami, so they were all in cahoots as well. But
now you got to ask yourself, if young individuals were allegedly present on Diddy's island, could those same individuals have also been present on Epstein's island? Especially when those Epstein files show blurred faces, powerful men, and situations nobody wants to fully speak on. That's not coincidence, but a pattern. Now connect that back to Lauren. If she was really tied into Diddy's inner circle, allegedly present in those environments, then what exactly did she know? What did she see? And more importantly, what role did she play? Because now, with talk of alleged tapes, with insiders speaking out, with names slowly being pulled into the light, the story ain't looking like what we were told. Was Lauren London really just Nipsey's partner, or was she playing a deeper role behind the scenes? Did Nipsey get too close to something he wasn't supposed to? And if these Epstein and Diddy connections run deeper than what's been shown, how many more names are about to come out? Because this ain't just about one person anymore. This is about a system. And if that system is really getting exposed, then what we've seen so far might just be the beginning. Now, the spotlight on you. Do you think Nipsey saw something coming before it was too late? And if more names drop, who do you think is next? Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like, subscribe, and stay tapped in with the next jaw dropper loading up now.